Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the key to unlocking your full potential is as simple as acting as if you are the best? It's not about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about stepping into your greatness, owning your worth, and embracing the confidence that comes with it. When you act as if you're the best, you begin to rise above your doubts and push past limitations that have held you back for far too long. It's a mindset that transforms not just how you see the world, but how the world sees you. This shift in perspective doesn't just change the way you approach challenges, it changes the way you approach life itself. In this video, we'll explore the power of acting as if you're the best and how it can accelerate your growth, success, and fulfillment. Stay tuned because the journey to becoming your best self starts right now. I've always believed that the moment you choose to step into excellence is the moment real change begins. Today, I want to share an idea that has the power to transform your life, your work, and your relationships. It's simple, don't underestimate it, but it's strong enough to shift everything. Act as if you are the best. No one is above you. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, doesn't that sound arrogant? Isn't that just pretending? Let's clear that up. This isn't about being arrogant or looking down on others. It's about lifting yourself up to reach your full potential. When I say act as if you are the best, I mean adopt the mindset, behavior, and discipline of someone performing at the highest level. Set a personal standard so high that it naturally elevates you. Think about it. Have you ever seen a top athlete in action? Or a skilled professional completely in their element? They have a calm confidence. It's not pride, it's clarity. They know they've prepared, refined their skills, and are ready to deliver. That's what this principle is about, carrying yourself with that same quiet certainty in every area of your life. You might be thinking, but I'm not the best, not even close, and that's okay. That's exactly the point. The beauty of this idea is that it works regardless of where you're starting. When you act like the best, something begins to shift. You start to believe it. And when belief takes hold, it becomes reality. It's one of the most powerful forms of self-transformation. Picture this. You're heading into a job interview. You're anxious, unsure of yourself, second-guessing your worth. Now ask yourself, how well do you think that's going to go? But what if you walked in acting as if you were the best candidate they'll meet today? You speak with confidence. You highlight your strengths clearly. You believe you're the solution they need. Would that change the outcome? Absolutely. And even if you don't land that role, you'll walk away different. You'll have practiced self-assurance. You'll have expressed your value clearly. You'll have raised your expectations for how you show up. And that's going to serve you well moving forward. Let's be clear though. Acting like the best doesn't mean you stop learning or growing. In fact, it demands more growth. The best in any field are always seeking improvement. They stay curious, stay open, and keep pushing. So acting as if you're the best is also a commitment to keep developing, to keep striving. It's saying, I will carry myself with excellence, and I will continue to earn that standard every day. This mindset applies to everything. In your relationships, carry yourself as the best partner, the best friend, the best parent. What would that look like? How would you listen? How would you speak? How would you consistently show up? In your health, carry yourself like someone in peak condition. What would you eat? How would you move? What habits would you keep? In your finances, act like someone who manages money well. How would you plan? How would you spend or save? How would you invest in your future? Now, I know some of you are still wondering, isn't this all just make-believe? At first, maybe, but here's the truth about people. We adapt. We become what we repeatedly do. Start acting with confidence, and over time, you become confident. Make healthy choices regularly and you become healthier. Manage money well consistently and you become financially secure. This isn't about pretending, it's about preparing. It's rehearsal for the role you want to step into in real life. And the world responds to that. When you carry yourself with belief and intention, people notice. Doors that were once closed begin to open. But here's the key. This isn't about tricking others. It's about reprogramming yourself. It's about retraining your mind to see what you're truly capable of. Because for many of us, there's a voice inside that says, you're not enough. You can't do this. Who do you think you are? That voice is lying. It's been shaped by years of doubt, missteps, and misunderstood advice. But every time you act as if you're capable, you challenge that voice. You tell it, actually, I am good enough. I can do this. I am someone who succeeds. And here's the best part. You don't have to wait until you're perfect. You just have to start acting like the person you want to become, because over time, that's exactly who you'll be. As you begin to adopt this mindset, as you start to carry yourself with confidence and certainty, you'll notice that it gradually feels more natural. What once felt like pretending becomes part of who you are. But let me make something very clear. Acting as if you're the best does not mean ignoring your weaknesses or denying your mistakes. The most accomplished individuals in any field are deeply aware of where they fall short. The difference is they don't allow those flaws to define them. They treat them as areas to grow, as opportunities to improve. So when you act as if you're the best, you're also making a commitment to be honest with yourself. You're saying, I'm holding myself to the highest possible standard, and that includes being clear-eyed about where you need to get better. That's where true growth happens, because when you combine self-belief with the humility to acknowledge your limits, you create unstoppable momentum. Let me share a little-known truth. Nearly every successful person I've ever come across shares this one trait. They act as if they're the best, even when they're not certain they are. They move through life with a quiet confidence that says, I deserve to be here. I bring value to the table. And here's the thing, that kind of confidence spreads. It inspires those around you. It starts a chain reaction that doesn't just elevate your own life, it impacts everyone you encounter. Think about how your world might change if you truly believe deep down that you are exceptional at what you do. How would you enter a room? How would you deal with setbacks? How would you treat yourself and others? That's the real power of this idea. It's not just about achieving external goals, though those often come. It's about transforming your mindsets. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts success, who naturally rises above challenges, and who lives with clarity and purpose. So here's the challenge. Starting today, begin acting like you are the best. Not out of pride, but out of a sincere belief in your own value and potential. When you're faced with a problem, ask yourself, what would the best version of me do in this situation? Before you present something, remind yourself, I'm the right person for this. When you're working on a task, approach it with the mindset that you're going to deliver better results than anyone has before. And here's something critical. Don't wait. Don't wait until everything feels perfect. Don't wait until the fear is gone or all your questions are answered. Begin now, start with where you are and what you've got. Because the truth is, you might never feel fully ready. The most successful people in history didn't wait for perfect timing. They acted like they were ready, and through that action, they became ready. So I encourage you, act as if you're the best, live as though no one is more capable than you, and watch how your world begins to shift around you. But here's something that might surprise you. This principle isn't just about personal transformation, it's about uplifting others too. When you raise your standards and dedicate yourself to excellence, you create a ripple effect. People around you take notice. You set a tone, and that energy influences everyone in your environment. Think about the impact of being around someone who radiates confidence and skill. It's motivating, isn't it? It makes you want to do better, be better. That's the kind of presence you can have. When you act like the best, you become a model of what's possible. And in doing so, you give others permission to rise as well. But here's where things get even more meaningful. When you act as if you're the best, something shifts in how you see others too. You begin to notice excellence wherever it appears. You start to appreciate effort, dedication, and quality in your team, your community, and your family. That's how real leadership is built. That's how you create a culture of champions. Not just through personal drive, but by recognizing and cultivating greatness in others. Now, some of you might still be wondering, what if I fail? What if I act like I'm the best and then fall short? Let me answer that with this. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. It's an essential step on the road to anything worthwhile. Acting like the best doesn't mean you'll never fall. It means you'll face setbacks with the mindset of someone who knows how to get back up. It means you'll use failure as feedback, not a final verdict. The people who truly succeed are not the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who refuse to let those mistakes define them. They're not afraid to fall. They're afraid of holding back. They fear settling. They fear living a life full of regret, wondering what if they had tried. So go ahead, act as if you are the best, because when you do, you not only change how others see you, you change how you see yourself, and that, more than anything, is the beginning of everything. When you act as if you're the best, you're giving yourself permission to take bold steps, to reach beyond your comfort zone, and to go after goals that might have once felt out of reach. In doing so, you expand your understanding of what's truly possible for you. Let's take a moment to talk about comparison. In today's world, it's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others, especially with social media constantly displaying curated snapshots of other people's wins. But when you adopt the mindset of acting as if you're the best, you stop playing the comparison game. You start to realize that your only real competition is the version of yourself from yesterday. You begin to focus on your own growth, your own journey, and your own progress. And here's the powerful part. When you stop measuring yourself against others and instead aim to exceed your own potential, That's when you truly begin to stand out. That's when you start achieving things that once seemed out of reach. Now let's address something important. Acting like you're the best does not mean becoming complacent. It doesn't mean you stop pushing yourself or become satisfied with where you are. In fact, it's the opposite. The individuals who consistently perform at the highest levels are never satisfied. They're always pushing for more. They're constantly sharpening their skills, seeking knowledge, and stretching their boundaries. So when you choose to act as if you're the best, you're also committing to a mindset of lifelong improvement. You're saying, I operate at a high level and I will continue to raise that level. That's the mindset that turns competence into mastery and excellence into legacy. Let's talk about mindset for a moment. Your mindset is like the core operating system of your life. It shapes how you interpret the world, how you face challenges, and how you take advantage of opportunities. When you act as if you're the best, you're essentially installing a new mental framework, one based on growth, abundance, and potential. Suddenly, you start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to discover solutions where others see roadblocks. And here's something remarkable. Mindsets are contagious. When you show up with a mindset rooted in excellence, it influences every area of your life. Your relationships improve, your health habits get better, your financial decisions become sharper. Why? Because you start approaching everything with a different question. How can I do this at the highest level possible? Here's a little secret that successful people often share. Many of them begin their day with a short mental exercise. They visualize themselves at their best. Before doing anything else, they take a few quiet moments to picture themselves performing at a high level, achieving goals, handling challenges, and living with purpose. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a way to program the subconscious mind to align with the vision they have for themselves. And when you repeatedly see yourself at your best, you become far more likely to act that way in real life. I encourage you to give it a try. Each morning, take a few minutes to visualize yourself stepping into your day with confidence, focus, and capability. See yourself overcoming obstacles, grabbing opportunities, and leaving a positive impact. Now let's talk about language. The words you use with yourself and with others have a significant influence on your reality. When you act as if you're the best, your language should reflect that belief. Instead of saying, I'll try, say, I will. Replace I hope with I know. Swap I can't for how can I. These may seem like subtle changes, but they reflect a deep shift in how you approach life. And just as your mindset influences those around you, so does your language. When you speak from a place of confidence and belief, you uplift others. Your words can motivate, encourage, and inspire action, so use that influence thoughtfully and generously. One last thing to clear up, acting as if you're the best does not mean you have to be perfect. In fact, perfection is a myth, a moving target that often leads to frustration and paralysis. This mindset isn't about flawless performance, it's about striving for excellence. Excellence is doing the best you can with what you have right where you are. It's about consistent progress, not unbroken perfection. Those who achieve the most understand this clearly. They know mistakes will happen, but instead of fearing them, they welcome them as part of the process. Every mistake is feedback. Every failure holds a lesson. Every setback contains insight. So when you act as if you're the best, you're also giving yourself the freedom to make errors. You're saying, I'm going to show up fully, I'm going to take risks, and if I stumble, I'll fall forward. Let's take a moment to talk about habits. Your habits are the foundation of your life. They're the small, consistent actions you take each day that, over time, shape your character and determine the direction of your future. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally begin to adopt the habits that lead to excellence. You become more focused, more disciplined, and more intentional with your time and energy. You start prioritizing what truly matters and cutting out distractions that no longer serve you. The beauty of habits is that once they're formed, they no longer require conscious effort. They become automatic. What once required willpower becomes second nature. And that's how acting like the best evolves into actually becoming your best. Now let's address a common concern. What about humility? Isn't acting as if you're the best the opposite of being humble? Not at all. True humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. When you carry yourself like the best, it's not about arrogance or superiority. It's about maximizing your potential so you can make the greatest positive impact. In fact, the most genuinely humble people are often the most skilled and effective at what they do. They don't need to broadcast their worth because their results speak for them. They're confident in their abilities, which allows them to celebrate the strengths of others without feeling threatened. So when you act as if you're the best, you're actually practicing a form of humility that's rooted in purpose and responsibility. You're acknowledging your unique talents and committing to develop them fully for the benefit of others, not just yourself. Let's shift to the topic of leadership. Whether you hold a formal title or not, you have the power to lead by example every day. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally step into a leadership role. People are drawn to those who radiate confidence, clarity, and competence. They want to follow someone with a strong sense of direction and the ability to bring that vision to life. By adopting this mindset, you become a source of guidance in your workplace, in your home, and in your community. But leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and staying open to finding the best solutions, regardless of where they come from. Acting like the best also means being secure enough to seek feedback, collaborate, and learn from others. Now, let's talk about fear. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people hold themselves back from living as if they're the best. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown can all keep you stuck. But here's the truth. Fear is just an emotion. It's a signal from your brain that you're stepping outside your comfort zone. And that's exactly where the most meaningful growth happens. When you act as if you're the best, you're not pretending that fear doesn't exist. You're simply choosing to move forward in spite of it. That's what courage looks like. It's saying, yes, I'm afraid, but I'm doing it anyway. And the impact of your actions goes far beyond just you. When you consistently show up as your best, you create a ripple effect. Your example challenges others to rise higher. It inspires change and raises the bar for those around you. Think about how this shows up in your relationships. When you act as if you're the best partner, the best friend, the best family member, you bring a deeper level of attention, care, and presence to those connections. You listen more attentively, communicate more clearly, and show up more consistently. This doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're committed to giving your best in every interaction. Let's talk about resilience for a moment. Life will always throw challenges your way. That's unavoidable. But when you act as if you're the best, you build a strong inner foundation. You begin to view setbacks not as permanent failures, but as chances to grow, learn, and adapt. You recover faster, bounce back with more strength, and stay grounded in your purpose. You trust that obstacles are part of the process and that you have what it takes to get through them. This mindset also influences how you make decisions. When you act as if you're the best, your decisions are based on long-term vision and inner conviction, not fleeting emotions or short-term gain. You weigh your choices against your highest values. You ask yourself, what would the best version of me do in this situation? That perspective leads to more thoughtful, impactful outcomes. Let's consider personal standards. When you begin to act like the best, your standards naturally rise. You no longer settle for mediocrity in anything, whether it's the work you do, the relationships you maintain, or how you keep your home. You bring a level of care and quality that reflects your belief in excellence. And finally, consider how this principle applies to your health and well-being. When you act as if you're the best, you treat your body with respect and intention. You fuel yourself with nourishing food. You move your body in ways that build strength and vitality. You prioritize rest, recovery, and routines that support your growth. You begin to challenge your body with regular movement. You give it the rest and care it needs. You understand that your physical health isn't just important, it's foundational. It supports every other area of your life. Now think about the impact this mindset has on your creativity. When you act as if you're the best, you give yourself permission to think on a larger scale, to question the norm, and to explore ideas others might shy away from. You're not afraid to share your insights or experiment with different approaches. This freedom unlocks levels of creative potential that might have otherwise remained dormant. Let's shift to the power of focus. When you carry yourself like the best, you develop a sharper focus on what truly matters. You're no longer sidetracked by unimportant distractions or drawn into unnecessary conflict. Your energy stays directed toward what will genuinely move you forward. This clarity influences how you manage your time. You begin to treat your hours and minutes as valuable assets. You become intentional about how each day is spent, cutting out time-wasting habits and prioritizing actions that align with your goals and personal growth. Now consider the impact on your emotional intelligence. Acting as if you're the best doesn't just sharpen your intellect, it heightens your awareness of your own emotions and those of others. You navigate social situations with greater sensitivity, listen more deeply, and respond with greater empathy. This emotional awareness becomes a powerful asset in both your personal relationships and professional interactions. Similarly, your approach to learning evolves. You become an eager, lifelong learner, constantly seeking out new knowledge, fresh perspectives, and practical skills. You understand that in a world that's changing quickly, your ability to learn, adapt, and grow is one of your most valuable tools. Think about how this mindset transforms your financial life. When you act as if you're the best, you adopt a mindset of abundance over scarcity. You make wiser decisions about earning, saving, and investing. You begin to see money as a resource for creating impact and value, not just something to accumulate. And let's not overlook the role of consistency. This isn't a mindset you turn on once and forget. Acting like the best is a daily discipline. It's about showing up each day with your best effort, even when motivation is low. Over time, this steady effort compounds into remarkable results. Consider how this mindset affects your ability to handle criticism. When you see yourself as a high performer, you're less shaken by outside opinions. Instead, you take criticism in stride. You sort through feedback, extract what's helpful, and discard what isn't. Constructive criticism becomes a valuable resource, helping you refine your skills and continue improving. This mindset also affects how you work with others. When you act as if you're the best, you empower those around you. You're not threatened by the success of others. Instead, you celebrate it. You recognize that collaboration, diversity of thought, and shared talent often lead to the best outcomes. Let's talk about personal growth. When you live as if you're the best, you're constantly looking for ways to stretch yourself. You step outside of your comfort zone. You actively seek out challenges that require you to grow. You understand that staying comfortable often means staying stagnant, and you're not interested in standing still. Now, think about how this principle influences your relationship with stress. Instead of avoiding it, you begin to understand it. You realize that stress often signals growth and progress. You learn how to perform under pressure and remain composed in difficult moments. Visualization is another powerful element of this mindset. When you act as if you're the best, you regularly visualize success. You picture your goals clearly and vividly. This mental clarity not only boosts motivation, but guides your actions. It keeps you on track even when the road gets tough. Consider also how this mindset positions you as an inspiration to others. When you act with belief, confidence, and commitment, people take notice. You naturally become a role model. Your energy and focus influence those around you, often without you even trying. Finally, let's consider how this mindset influences your problem-solving ability. When you act as if you're the best, you don't dwell on complaints or obstacles. You get to work on finding solutions. You become known as someone who makes things happen, regardless of the challenge. And this approach strengthens your personal brand. Over time, people begin to associate your name with excellence, reliability, and integrity. That kind of reputation creates opportunities, opens doors, and earns trust in ways that talent alone cannot. Let's examine how this mindset influences your ability to set and achieve goals. When you act as if you're the best, you master the art of goal setting. You set ambitious targets that push you to grow, and you build the discipline and determination needed to achieve them. You recognize that goals aren't mere wishes, they are commitments to yourself and your future. Now let's talk about authenticity. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It means aligning your actions with your core values and letting your unique strengths shine. When you act as if you're the best, you embrace who you truly are and aim to be your authentic self in all that you do. Think about how this principle impacts your ability to build relationships and network. When you carry yourself as the best, networking becomes more natural and purposeful. You approach others with confidence and genuine interest. You're not just focused on what others can do for you, but rather on how you can bring value to their lives as well. This kind of networking fosters strong, mutually beneficial relationships. Let's explore how this mindset affects your ability to handle success. When you act as if you're the best, you become prepared for success when it comes. You don't let success inflate your ego or cause complacency. Instead, you view each achievement as a stepping stone to even greater accomplishments. Success becomes a motivator, pushing you to strive for the next level. Now think about how this principle influences your legacy. When you act as if you're the best, you begin to think beyond immediate goals and start considering the long-term impact of your actions. You begin to focus on the legacy you want to leave behind and the positive mark you want to make in the world. Let's consider the impact on forgiveness. When you act as if you're the best, you recognize that holding grudges or dwelling on past mistakes only holds you back. You develop the ability to forgive quickly, both others and yourself, and move forward. You focus your energy on the present and future rather than the past. Next, let's talk about gratitude. Acting as if you're the best helps you cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for your life, the opportunities in front of you, and the people who support you. This gratitude fuels your motivation and helps you maintain a positive mindset, even in difficult times. It keeps you grounded and focused on the abundance in your life. Consider how this mindset helps you adapt to change. When you act as if you're the best, you become more flexible and adaptable. You see change as an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve rather than something to fear. In today's fast-moving world, this adaptability becomes one of your greatest assets. Let's talk about how this principle affects your sense of purpose. When you act as if you're the best, you become more aligned with your personal mission and purpose. You start to see how your unique talents and passions can make a meaningful impact. You're more driven to use your gifts for a greater good, and this deeper sense of purpose propels you forward. Now think about how this affects your ability to balance different areas of your life. When you act as if you're the best, you strive for excellence in all aspects of your life. You work towards creating harmony between your professional ambitions, personal relationships, health, and spiritual growth. This balance ensures that you're giving your best to everything that matters. Lastly, let's explore how this principle affects your ability to mentor others. When you act as if you're the best, you naturally become a mentor to those around you. You freely share your knowledge and experiences, helping others grow and succeed. This not only benefits them, but it also deepens your own understanding and mastery of your own journey. Now that you know the power of acting as if you are the best, the question is, are you ready to step into your greatness? The truth is, when you start acting like the best version of yourself, you change the entire trajectory of your life. You set higher standards, push past limits, and become someone who doesn't just dream but achieve. This mindset will propel you forward, opening doors and creating opportunities that you never thought possible.